This is probably going to be a slightly longer video than the others. I realise that there is no point in this course where we really talk about or delve into what the Nazi Party believes. This is quite important because it means later on we're going to see what the Nazis do, and I want you to understand why they do this. Why do they create such weird and bonkers things? And that means you need to understand some key tenets of Nazi ideas. The first area of Nazi ideas I'm going to talk about is having one ruler, a dictatorship. The Nazis put forward a number of issues around Germany that, to be honest, made sense. They would regularly tell people that democracy was slow. They would regularly tell people that they needed to work together to improve. And they'd regularly tell people that there were people looking to hold back Germany and that they needed to be rid of. The way to solve that was to have one leader, a Führer, as that is in German. One person who can quickly make decisions that are for the better of Germany. And that person they were pushing forward was Hitler. This is the guy who knows what to do. He clearly knows what to do. You've heard him speak, you know his ideas, and that means he'll get things done. Once they had that mindset set up for having a dictatorship, they wanted to show people the ideas behind them, what to do with it. So the first one is anti-communism. The Nazis hated the idea of communism. Your understanding of it probably is to do with equality. Everyone is at the same level, be it economic or otherwise. But the Nazis' key tenet of ideas is about a dictatorship, one person with all the power and everyone else doing as they say. If communism was to be put in place ever, the Nazis' ideas don't work with everyone sharing power. Communism gives power to the people, and that is not what the Nazis wanted for Germany. So the Nazis wanted to make communism look bad. They wanted no communism to even exist. They wanted people to agree with the Nazi version of running a country, which is fascism, very right-wing. And to do that, they used propaganda, like the one you can see above me, to make the communists look evil. The communists will destroy the country if they are elected. The communists are willing to eat your children. The communists are going to burn everything down. And they were able to play off things like the Russian Revolution, where, should we say, the Russian royal family had been killed when the country turned communist. And they managed to successfully convince people that communism was bad. On top of that, they really pushed nationalism and militarism. Nationalism is basically a belief that, or a love for a country, to the extent of hating others, to the extent of thinking that others are worse than your country. And militarism is showing, should we say, love or pride in your country through a military, or increasing an amount of soldiers or army or navy even, to basically make you look strong as a country. The Nazis were very militaristic. I mean, you've seen that salute they're doing. They do it everywhere. All of the Nazis' iconography and ways they presented themselves was like an army of people, because they wanted people to think they were strong. There is no stronger thing than looking like you're able to beat somebody up or beat them in a fight. And so they looked like they could do that. And they brought this militarism into all aspects of life. I mentioned the salute a second ago because the salute is a military observance. The military are the only people that salute anybody, but the Nazis made it everything. These politicians saluting, they'd make civilians and children salute them because they wanted this militaristic aspect to be there. They wanted people to love Germany and think Germany could be and is strong. So they wanted people to be strong in terms of an army. On top of that are the two most famous things the Nazis really pushed for, anti-Semitism and race theory. I'll talk about anti-Semitism first. I want to make it very clear that these ideas are wrong, they are racist ideas, and really it stems from a cultural thing from pretty much all of time. You'll remember in the migration topic that we've talked about anti-Semitism, the history of Jewish people around the world, and that there's a stereotype of Jewish people of them being rich and taking money from others. These ideas are incorrect, but they are the basis of the Nazis' ideas because it allows them what's called a scapegoat. It allows them someone to blame for all of their problems. And in doing that, you get the opportunity to say, look, they are the cause of problems. If I get rid of them, the problems will go away. I told you earlier that Hitler offered solutions to Germany's problems. This is their solution, to remove groups of people that they claim incorrectly are the problem. And this doesn't just apply to Jewish people. Jewish people was the most typical, most common, and definitely targeted group, but it meant for a variety of reasons. They would say that disabled people were worthy of removal, gay people, black people, gypsy, Roma. It was an opportunity to push people out that, should we say, Hitler didn't like or thought would go against his ideals. Having enemies is what's called having a scapegoat, and it allowed the Nazis to come up with a solution and get people to like them. Images just above me you can see is them making Jewish people look worse. But when you think about, right, someone saying, this person is bad, they are evil, we need to remove them. We need a reverse, don't we? We need, who are the good people that we keep? So the Nazis were very good at pointing out loads of people that were bad, but we've not spoken about the good ones they keep. And the Nazis did have ideas on this, and they pushed this alongside anti-Semitism so that they could really set up one race of people as the best. And you've probably heard of this group before. It is called Aryan people. The Nazis loved to really make out that Germany was once, or is, an Aryan country, or the group of people that live in Germany are this race of people that are superior, better than everybody else. The Nazi Party would basically say that when Germany was great was because Germany was an Aryan country. They would say there were no other groups of people in Germany, it was just Aryans, and if we return Germany to being just Aryan, we remove all those other groups of people I talked about, the problems will go away and Germany will return to being a great country. That's what they would say to people. There was loads of different kinds of Aryans. There was Nordic Aryans, Central European, Western, but the most common one that you've probably heard of is blonde hair and blue eyes. That's not perfectly true. There were brown-haired Aryans, there were, should we say, non-blonde hair, blue-eye Aryans, people, including Hitler, but the real knowledge is that there was a group of people that the Nazis determined as being the best. That's what race theory would be. And the Nazis would push the idea of creating and keeping this race and trying not to dilute this race with other groups of people. They would remove other groups of people and try and convince people to, not have children with these other groups. And you'll notice you've probably noticed I'm quite struggling to describe these ideas. The lessons are definitely better, and probably looking some of this stuff up yourself might be better, but all I can really tell you is that these ideas are outdated, incorrect, and wrong. These ideas provided the Nazis a platform to offer solutions that are not true and are not real. You need to understand them because we're going to see them put in place. We study the Nazis because they offer you an insight into, what a dictatorship can do to a country and what kind of twisted logic can be used to convince you, a person who's going to end up voting, to convince you to give them power. And we'll look at that all later. I'm going to just remind you of the 4 things I've spoken about: anti-communism, nationalism, militarism, race theory, anti-Semitism. If you can accurately explain what those beliefs of the Nazi Party are and also why they have them, then you will understand later on in this course quite a lot in detail. There's no textbook page for this one. If you want to rewatch, feel free. And if you want, please send me an email if you really need more help. All right, good luck. See you later.